I erased all my videos that I had put out when I was scrambling around and really upset and in a dark place. Because as you start to feel better, or you kind of reboot and you're back in society, and you know, I found myself doing the very same thing I've done every other time I've fallen and tried to stand up for what I believe in, or start my own business, or branch out, whatever you want to call it. And this time around, I wrote a song called Nine Lives because it's like I'm on my ninth life to me. Like every time I bottom out, and it happened 3 times real fast once I got here back in Indianapolis a year ago from being in Florida. And I've been going through footage from when my life started. I'm so glad I started pressing record on my computer, because so many things were like a Twilight Zone happening at once. And I do a lot of video journals because I've had counselors in the past and friends, and you know, people are great to talk to, but if they really aren't in for the haul and can't have more than an hour that I'm paying them for to really grasp all the details and the ins and outs. And that's why I think we had counselors ever to begin with, because friends, there became a point where they're incapable because they're not trained, and then you go to a trained individual and they only have so much time that you're paying for. And I mean, they have sliding scale, you know, facilities and things like that I have also tried. But really, at the end of the day, I found that I just need to talk it out. Most of the time, it's not even about the other person. Most of the times, the other person is just waiting to talk back, or, you know, their insight isn't necessarily, you know, trained. And the ones who are trained, like I said, they're going to focus on things like marijuana and tell me that this is the cause of all my problems. So when I got to a point where I could no longer, because I realized they're only taught and conditioned by the system too, and my questions and my problems have to do with what's going on in the world, not only just in my life. Yeah, my life has gone to crap, and that's what I wanted, why I've been going through footage, because I want to start posting from the introduction of the documentary I started to do. Gigi, chill out. She always does that when I started. She gets attention. She's just dogging. She's like a person. She wants attention. Just like your mama, I guess, because I do these things just to invite attention, because I think these are important issues that are gone ignored and we're urged not to talk about for long enough, and they are affecting a lot of people, and the people I see every day. It's easy when you don't live in a neighborhood where you're constantly surrounded by people suffering just like yourself, and then you realize, okay, I wish it were just myself, because then I could feel more at peace that, okay, I just messed up. But you have the masses suffering, another country suffering, and then I'm reading this Bible, which is going to be why I'm going to go through one letter today, and I'm going to present a different way of hearing it. And I'm going to continue to do that, as well as post one video per day, because I can't edit all this stuff. To do all these things by myself, I can't do it. So rather than that's what I meant yesterday by I'm really not ready, because I always intended to edit it and make it, you know, topical instead of sequential, and putting it all by date, but I saved it by the date it was, and that's how they're kind of in different folders, because it started out being the 30 days of grace, and it was more like 30 days of getting real, and 30 days of these, you know, being thankful, because it was around the time of Christmas when I started it, and it was bleeding into November, and then 30 days became more like 60, and then 90, and then I never stopped pressing record. So the documentary has evolved from what I initially started pressing record. But what I'm trying, my focus and my goal of it is for a few different reasons. I want to address religious and political questions that I have. There are a lot of, I've been called uneducated, which I am. In fact, let me show you. I'm honest. I have nothing to hide, because I have nothing left to lose. Hold on. And for a job, I had to get my transcripts from Butler. So I'm the first one to say all the ways I've messed up in life. But I'm trying to prove that that is precisely why Jesus died. For the things that when you're too young, uninformed, invincible in some ways, unaware of all the consequences, because there is no life school. We go to school and learn about subjects that will make money in the world, but we don't really learn how to deal and cope with life and how to handle difficult situations and things we can't grasp and put our minds around, like the wars and little girls like Malala getting shot by terrorists because she's fighting for education. Why is that happening? Why do we look back at people like Princess Diana and MLK, Malcolm, all these leaders who are for the people, and they're no longer here? So those questions made me put on, like, when you grow up in a church, and then you always are hearing the same thing, and that's why I picked Galatians, because it starts out and it's an almost warning to me, because I'm trying to say something that's not necessarily congruent with the popular belief about the religion, about Christianity. And all my film documentaries are going to cover eventually different religions, and then the experiences with meeting people of those religions and really what people believe instead of something we perceive, because there's a language barrier to begin with. We don't speak their language, and there are people who in the media represent those countries and say, we're at war due to these things. But then when I meet people of those nationalities, or that came from that, or whatever, it's, like me in America, I don't necessarily agree with everything America stands for. I can understand why other countries hate America because of what they then are taught by their leaders of what America is all about. It's like the people at the top have everyone else who are layers below them blaming each other, and they are controlling that because they still possess all, more and more of the resources and the power and the ability to manipulate all of us and treat us as we're minions, and that this whatever we're serving is God, and that all these different gods of different religions and who's right and wrong. And it's like, let's just take a deeper look. I'm not going to go to what I think in the end of my conclusions. I just want to present some questions and some hard facts based off of what is taught and what is known versus some other ideas and possibilities and theories based on, I have all these commentary books, and I kind of want to do my own commentary on it, and then weave it in with the separation of church and state, and then talk about how we even elect politicians and what's behind that, and then how things are voted in, and what were once like effective tax rates, what once was the case, and then what has now through lobbyists and through all these different changes in how legislation is enacted, I guess, is been allowed to remove those things with no accountability, no opportunity for we the people to appeal and to say, where we don't agree with that. And that's where it comes from. My anger came from in saying, I can vote for American Idol, but I can't, so easily cast the same kind of vote with all the technological advancements in place today that to vote for policies and issues that impact our lives. And why do bills have a lot of other things underneath it that if it starts out this way and part of the House doesn't like that bill, then they get to tack on things that almost sabotage it or work against the very bill itself to pass it through. It's the I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, and that's a broken system. I mean, when we're still filling in cards to vote, I mean, that's an ancient system that identity theft and all these oopses that cost people their lives, all the people wrongly imprisoned, and who are in prison and how much those terms cost. I've been in every single institution, and with these videos that I'm going to simultaneously unravel at the same time of my current current self, because I started filming these videos far long ago before the 30 Days of Grace. They were just my personal journal documentaries as I was asking questions and doing my own research and what I was thinking. And now I'm in a place where, yeah, it's going to make me look stupid because I realized I was uneducated and ignorant in a lot of ways, and I still am, and I'm always susceptible to that, but I'm willing to open up the honest process of what it looks like to have a real, genuine walk with life, because I feel like everywhere I go, no one's genuine anymore. It's like robots. I feel like I'm talking to a bunch of robots, and I don't know if they're even aware of it or what's going on, but I'm like, for myself, like, I have to be comfortable in who I'm talking to and feel like I'm talking to their genuine self too. I don't want to just, be myself and then them say nothing and, contribute nothing. It's just, flat. So these videos are for that purpose, and because I can't wait any longer, and because I have, lost everything. You'll see that because, I can't believe how different I looked a year ago in watching these. It's surprising to me. But that's what happens. It's the outside reflection of what really happened inside and what was going on in my life and what still is going on in my life. And the longer I wait, it's too relevant right now with everything going on, because I have a lot to say about how the system was even built. And I want to look at the infrastructure, a really close magnifying glass, and religion. People tell me stay away from those two topics. That is all I've been told my whole life, and they're two most topics that have been warred over, that affect all of our lives on a daily basis. So I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to be willing to look retarded and miss facts. I read so much, like, I know I get facts jumbled up and I don't always know what I'm talking about, but I'm clearly making a point, and I'm clearly at a place where I'm angry. I see a lot of posts of the people are angry. I'm not alone in how I feel. And many of these people aren't in positions where they can stand up and say anything. I get emails from people who agree with what I say, but they're hostage. They can't walk away from work, and every work, goes through Facebook. That's why everybody's like, delete. You want a job and you want to do these things, then delete that stuff. And that's what got me to do it before. But at a certain point, I have to make a choice. What's worth it to me. This is my life's work here, what I've spent my last whatever years doing, and that's all it's ever been trying to do, is get me to shut up and not pay attention to these things. I feel like that's been the whole purpose of since the get for me, and I need to talk about these things because I'm starting to drive myself crazy because of the thoughts and because of what I'm finding and because of turning on the TV and seeing what's going on around the world and I'm online, everything. I can't just not share what I see when it doesn't take me that long to do it because I'm already thinking about it anyways. So I just want to say before I really go any further is that I'm sorry if I'm offending people. I am, but I dare to be offensive because I'm not intending to be offensive. I'm intending to address things that are getting treated like a pink elephant, and I'm nervous to do that, and I'm constantly asking God and praying before I do things. Like, I'm sorry that I'm misspeaking. I know when I open up Galatians in the first chapter what it says, and I might be doing exactly that, but when I get deeper into the letter, I kind of see who he might actually be talking to. It sounds like he's talking to one group of people, but the further you get in, the more it sounds like a different group of people, and that's what I'm talking about, mislabels. And how it would be easy to go in and kind of sneakily mislabel things, and it's just funny how the price of goods and services go up, and the wages just grow at such a slower pace, and people cannot pay their bills. And they juggle multiple jobs. They can't see married people don't get to see each other because they have to have multiple jobs between two people to support children. I watch this and I'm like, if I would have had kids, I would be in the same situation. So I have to do something for them because they can't do anything for themselves. They can't speak up. They can't leave their jobs or anything like this. And I don't know what's going to happen to me as a result, because I could lose everything by saying stuff because people distance themselves from you because of that. But I'm going to end this video here, and then I'm going to do a separate one that goes over Galatians. So if you aren't into religion or whatever, then you know, don't have to get into that part. But I'm going to, different videos will be for different topics because I've studied a range of them. And, you know, people said, do your research before you talk. And I'm like, well, I did. It may not be full. And that's what I want to open it up for a discussion. If anyone wants to have a discussion, it seems like people are way more interested in looking at pictures and quotes and things like that are about, you know, the quotes are about these things and memes and things, but then let's have like, let me see your opinion on it. You're posting someone else's opinion. I understand if you agree, but does it, what is gonna take to have real change and to see people doing things about it? I mean, that's what I'm saying, is the system doesn't have it. I mean, ironically, it doesn't make it easy for us to really voice our opinion and get things heard, because no one has time for that. And we're too busy keeping up with all these demands. So those of you who like the videos and want to stick with me, I'm doing this, you know, as sort of an ultimate, I have an ultimate goal. So this is kind of like test market, I guess, beta market in a way, but I want to utilize this time I have as long as I have it. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, but I really don't want to offend people because of my ignorance.